Welcome to School Pacific TV. I'm your host Mkocha Henry, and welcome to our show, which is Power Dream Show. This show is all about informing you how it is so important to nurture our dreams, and how is it important to avoid and to sit on our dreams, not doing something about them. And today in our studio, we are delighted to have a visitor of ours who has a life to tell, and he's just like you there. He had a dream, and that dream is on its way. It's on its core. Do you know why it's on its core? Because he realized what is supposed to be done and tried to start nurturing the dream. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your profile.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry. I'm called Mark Andedo. That's my name.
Yeah.
And the fourth born from our family, a family of 6. And I'm happy to be born in that humble family. I have parents, the mom and the dad, they're both alive.
Yeah.
Though both of them, they don't have a reliable job. Mom is a peasant farm at home, and dad is doing some 1, 2, 3 jobs in town,
Yeah.
of which is not really permanent employment,
Yes.
but 1, 2, 3 things to support the family. I can say that my primary school, I did my KCP in 2004.
Yeah.
I did my KCP getting 360 out of 500 marks. That's
Yes.
deep in the village. And high school also, I did in the same village, not so far, until Form 4, where after Form 4 now I joined Kenyatta University,
Yeah.
doing environmental science. And I'm very happy because life has not been that easy.
Yes.
But I thank God because I never took them as problems. I took them as challenges.
Yeah.
And it is from those challenges that right now, or where I am, it's because of those things, because they strengthen me a lot.
Yeah.
I remember my mom walking all the time to the market, selling bananas, just to make sure that the children are well kept and at least you get something small. So we never gave up in life, and up to now, I'm proud of that. So graduated last year. In Kenyatta University, and still I'm looking forward to do something in masters. But before that, right now I'm in Kenya Institute of Management, doing a course in HR. I wanted to connect it with my course at the time being. But apart from that, also I do some teachings, both primary and high school, where I get place I do teaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there is this aspect of you being an author.
Mm-hmm.
When did you realize you can be able to start to write a book, really?
In brief, I can say that maybe 2 years ago. But in real sense, this is something that God started putting in me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in primary school, I used to write very lengthy insha's and compositions, but these were not adding up. Because you get that after writing maybe 3 pages, by the time you are being told write 1.5 page, for me I was writing like 3 pages.
Yeah.
Then the end result will be, instead of getting even 20 and above, I was only getting maybe 12 out of 40. And people could laugh, why do you write a lot of things and then you don't even have sense on it? But why I was doing that, even myself, I could not realize by then. Because once was given a paper and a pencil, I would just write without getting time. Meaning that things were just flowing. So in real sense, if I trace back, these things started long time ago, meaning that I was a narrator from them. I remember also high school, the same thing happens, but the good thing is that in high school, I was moderating, but still the same problem was. Even right now, if I sit down writing something, you can just give me a single word, but I can get many paragraphs out of that word. So I think it's just something that God put in me naturally, and it is something that was there since I was born. But the real sitting down and acting, that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yes.
How did you start? Is there somebody to motivate you to start the whole thing? And what are kind of challenges you were going through to produce the first book?
I don't really have a real role model in production and all that.
Yeah.
And because if I say a real role model, we have a lot of people who have encouraged me in life, but now in terms of writing, I had no person who told me that you can write or you can do this. In fact, like I told you, most of my time, by the way, it's normally funny when I tell people my first time of coming to Nairobi since I was born was 2009, early 2009 January. That's my first time of coming to Nairobi. But you realize when we are in school, we are answering questions about Nairobi, not knowing where Nairobi is. So I can't really mention or pick out that this is the person who role modeled me. But I want to say that when I came to Nairobi, I stayed with my brother. Initially, we were at Embu. Then when my brother got transferred to come to Nairobi, we came with him. So I think that loneliness, lack of, not lacking of something to do, but lack of that companion and all that.
Yeah.
I could do housework, all everything, but then I did everything, mopping, washing the plates, washing the clothes, ironing, doing everything, literally everything in the house. Then you get that because of that rested now. When my brother and maybe some friends were in the sitting room, I could not sit there and listen to their stories. So what was the end result? Maybe hiding in the sitting bedroom, doing other stuff and all that. Then I remember this one day at night,
Yeah.
when after doing everything, and my brother, I think that day came home late at around 11. But my routine by then was I could not sleep before he comes, because he might come and knock and maybe nobody to open the door. So I remember that day he came late because I don't know, some meetings at job and all that. So he came late. So I had not slept by then. I had to wait for him, come, give him lunch and supper, and wash the place before sleeping. So it was late at around 1, let's say 1 a.m. Now I thought I had no sleep. I had nothing to do. I cannot watch movies. I cannot watch TVs because that was not my fun.
Yeah.
But something just rang in my mind. By then I was holding this John Mason's book called Imitation is Limitation.
Yeah.
And then also there is like 1 month ago I had read something to do with the same John Mason, the impossible is possible. So there's a time I asked myself.
So you believe in the impossible is possible?
Yes, I believe that impossible is possible.
Yeah.
Now something just struck my mind and asked me, can't you also have something tangible? By the way, my writing was not that I wanted even to motivate somebody.
Yeah.
A simple question just came in my mind. Can't you also have something? Watu huanzaje, something like that.
Yeah.
How do we start? How can I start? What is the step?
Yeah.
Then, believe it or not, there and there at around 1:30 p.m. I took a pencil and a paper. I remember I had a rough book somewhere.
Yeah.
I started writing about power, dream and all that.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, I compiled those things. And here is the book.
You came up with a book.
I came up with the book.
So, before the book is published,
Yeah.
let's talk about the book.
Mhm.
Before a book is published, there are the kind of expenses, challenges, motivation you can get from people, discouragement you get from others. How did you handle those kind of challenges?
Challenges must be there, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And it's simple like as this. People normally ask me, how much did you use to publish this book? For sure, if I sit down and start calculating, I think even more than 200, 300,000.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of expenses. I had no laptop, I had no computer. So this thing I had to write them handwritten,
Yeah.
maybe in an exercise book. Buying that book, writing over 200 pages, book handwritten. Then you have to take this thing to the cyber. Cyber in town, they charge you. Where I was, they were charging me 30 bob typing and 10 bob printing.
Yeah.
So meaning that 1 page 40 bob. And you cannot believe it. I wrote something of about 80 pages. 80 pages, that is rough work. Now, if you translate that into typed, it was like almost 150 pages. That's now the big copy without being...
it was quite expensive.
Yeah, quite expensive. So you calculate that one and all that. Then now, that is now typing, sorry. They have not printed. Now you are going now to editing. Editing, you edit one word after that. It's like you are revising with a lot of errors you correct. So they were also charging me 1 bob per minute.
So you did all the editing and typing from a cyber cafe?
From a cyber cafe.
Yeah.
All that.
So, and did you get a sponsor? How did you manage to raise up this money to publish your first book?
I can say that I thank God again, because I'm not a man who is normally ready to sit down. Because of the same loneliness and situations that were at home, I never decided to sit at home there.
Yeah.
I took the way forward. Even though I had not joined university, I was like 2 weeks to join university, I took a step of applying in a given primary school. It's academy called Royal International Academy in Roysambu. Now there, I went and talked to that director. Though entering there was also a difficult situation, but God showed me the way, because I applied for the first time, later was torn by the head teacher again, the second one. So the third time, as I was going, I met the director face to face, and according to how we communicated and the way I was presentable, in the afternoon I was in class teaching. So by then they offered me 6,000, because I was doing part-time, 6,000 per month, of which to me that was a lot of money. So it is from this 6,000 that I could save kidogo and go to the cyber to do that. So by the end of the day, as before going to the publisher, I had used like something like 40,000.
40,000 shillings to publish the book.
Yes, and this one was behind the scene. Even my brother, whom I was staying with, never knew I was doing something like writing and all that.
Yeah.
If anything, he came to realize when the book was being launched that I'm a writer.
Yeah. So what was the title of your first book?
The title of my first book, first of all, my book, I wrote it Living with Opportunities. That's what I was writing, Living with Opportunities.
Living with Opportunities.
Yes, but now when I discussed with my editor, now who is the publisher, gave it another title, which is The Power Dream, of which now Power Dream under the theme Living with Opportunities. Because all what I talk about is like motivating people. We live with opportunity everywhere. You are talking, that is opportunity. You are walking, that's opportunity. That person you are greeting along the way, that is an opportunity. So I gave my book Living with Opportunity. But surprisingly enough, the book I wrote surprised even the editors. When I went to KIE, Kenya Institute of Education, they gave me a lot of morale and a lot of motivation that I should continue. In fact, that should be made a school syllabus kind of something. Then they directed me to Moran Publishers and then Macmillan. But the problem when I went there, it was very expensive. Somebody
could not handle it.
Somebody talking about 90,000, have even touched 1,000 cash money like that. So that money could not. But now what happened is that when I took the manuscript is like a full page before being transformed like this. I took it to one of pastor in Deliverance Church Kasarani, and also another one. By then I had joined University, Kenyatta University. I took some to my lecturers, but they denied. In fact, lecturer from literature department, they told me that you cannot write, and therefore we cannot waste our time editing your book. One, you are still a first year. Second, you are young. There's nothing you have experience in life. Third, you are not from our department, so we can't help. If anything, I remember that lecturer, I don't know the name, I won't say the name, but I remember that lecturer telling me, if anything, I'm busy, weekend, I'm going to Germany. I was demoralized.
That was demoralized.
I was demoralized, and believe it or not, I came back with my materials and kept them for 1 full year. By then, I had not joined any church, because in Nairobi, I had not done anything. But little did I know, there was a copy I left with a pastor. That pastor is called Pastor Shikuku in Deliverance Church Kasarani. I left that copy. So one day I got a call. Am I talking to Mark Anedo? I remember when he mentioned my name wrongly, because in the manuscript there was my name there. I said yes. Please, can you get time and come in the afternoon maybe to see me? Nikamwambia, where are you and who are you and how did you get my number? You just come to church, we'll communicate. Just ask office for Pastor Shikuku, they will direct you. I went there. Believe it or not, this pastor took his time for over 3 hours. Motivating me, not telling me the reason why he called me, but motivating me. So I
continue with what you're doing.
Yes, I wondered, this person doesn't know me, I'm not a member of their church, if anything, I'm a Catholic. Why are they talking to me like that? But at last now he mentioned, there's a book you brought here, I've never heard you talking about it. Please, can you take your mantle and go? Then there and there he told me, there's a man I can connect you to. He's a very good man who was here in church, he was a leader in this church, and is connected to publication. He connected me to somebody called Francis Omedo. Francis Omedo is the director or is the chairperson of the Destiny Managers. They deal with the publication of books, leadership and management, and even religious kind of books and all that. So when he connected me to that, things went. He agreed to publish my books in terms of credits and all that. So slowly but slowly I was paying credits, some small amount.
So you're implying that in the power of the Almighty, everything was gradually moving on successfully. No matter how much the challenges you are facing.
Yes.
When we narrow down to your book, The Power Dream, what's its theme? What's the moral, educative anchor it has to the readers?
To the readers.
The viewers out there, they might be interested to buy this book. Tell us, try to give us a preview of what the book is all about.
Thank you so much. My book is mentioned or titled Power Dream, and sometimes I tend to hate that title because a dream is everything. Everybody talks about dream. Now, if we keep on singing about one thing, now it becomes kind of no value. But the kind of dream I'm talking here about is as a simple thinking capacity that you can have. If you think you can be a very good cyclist, my friend, you can, with or without a bicycle. If you think that you can be a driver, yes, you can, with or without a vehicle, you can. Because it is from thinking that we develop the action. It is from action that we develop the character. Then character forms a habit. When we have a habit of doing something consistently, we end up getting what we want. So the main thing in this book is the little thing you are thinking you can. whatever comes on your way, you can always overcome them to meet them. So generally my books talk about simple titles. For example, there are some titles here just as simple like this. Something talking like God hides things by putting them near us. We keep on searching things in hidden places, but things are
they are just close to us.
Yes. Then another thing talking about, it is never safe to look into the future with fearful eyes. Some of us, you think that you want to be a doctor.
Everyone is afraid to risk doing something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them, hey, you want to be a doctor. Doctor in the university, you take 8 years. Then 8 years? I can't, Don't look the future with fearful eyes. Then something, favorite disguise of an opportunity is obstacle. Opportunity is behind that corner.
Yeah.
Now, obstacle of reaching there, that's what will discourage you. It will just disguise itself. Then another thing, don't blame your circumstances for your failure. For who you are, don't blame your circumstances. Pick up the circumstance and move ahead. In fact, I normally tell people that God was wise enough to make us know our background but not the future. Otherwise, if we are in a position of knowing our future, some of us would have killed themselves. If suppose somebody comes here and tells you, Bana, whether you struggle or not, by the end of 50 days, you will be a thief. There's no need of going to school. There's no need of working. You will just be there and die even before you become a thief. So God did not let us see that. So because of that, He gave us the power to see the opportunity of the background. So it is this background that we step forward to meet the future that we talk about. So those are some of and many other kind of titles. Like another one, listening well. How do you listen? That's the problem. Simple instruction. I tell you, go and pick that cup. You go and pick a jug.
That is a challenge to so many
people,
so many youth out there.
Yeah.
And apart from Power Dream book that you have,
yes,
which kind of other book were you inspired to write? Apart from this one, do you have another title? For example, I saw the one about the relationship. I don't know what it's all about. Maybe you can give us a preview of it, because when somebody looks at the cover of that book, he sees life in a different way. You see, for example, a youth. When a youth meets such the book relationship on the street,
actually,
the kind of preview in mind that he will be having about the book will be so different when you see today the kind of the youth are living, including me. At the moment I look at that book, I'll be so interested to read. Maybe it's gonna help me to handle my relationship life.
Well,
is it really related to that, or you can give us the real hint about it?
Okay, it's okay. You are not out of the bracket. That's what everybody asks me wherever I go or wherever I go to speak. They ask me, my friend, are you married? Then I tell them no. In fact, it's very simple question. Yeah, or they keep on asking me that. I get it. Like sometimes it's like Madara and all that. But I understand because the title is really striking about relationship. But if I talk about it, as per now, I've written 4 books that are tangible. Then we have a 5th title, which may be by God's will.
Which is in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. will be launched April, May, June there.
I'll be glad if you give me the invitation.
Yes, you will be there. So my first book is Power Dream, that is volume 1 or title 1. Then title 2 is that Healing Relationship.
Healing Relationship.
Yes. Then the 3rd title is called Women of Impact, which is dedicated to my mom. Mom is a very, very good kind of impact in me. Then the 4th one is Stretch or Die.
Stretch or die.
You have to stretch. I give an example like this. You cook food, put it on top of the table, then keep on praying, God, come and help me eat this food. God will not come and eat that food. It's upon you to, after praying, please stretch your hand, pick food, put in your mouth, then you will have good health. If you leave it here, it will just go bad and you will die of hunger. So in short, if you don't stretch in life, the end result is death. So stretch or die. Then the 5th one that is coming is called Parenting the Teenagers. This one now is for the teenagers and the parents.
But for today, I want you to highlight about this relationship book.
Good. My relationship, what I mean by relationship there is not the issue of kind love, husband, wife, I don't know, cottage and all that. My relationship is still in the personal, still is motivation of whatever you are doing. Remember, as human being, God located us at a central place whereby we have the 2 junctions at the forefront and at the back front. Now, at the ahead of us, we have maybe a friend we consider as the best person in our part of movement. Then at the other side we have an enemy, which is a very kind of negative factors. But now from my book, I'm trying to bring a perspective whereby you have to realize as a human being that both of these are very important. A friend is good because gives you positive critics, slaps you, pats you at the back, gives you smiling face. And then again, an enemy of which may sometimes want to be the real enemy gives you negative critics. And remember, a human being, you cannot only move through one direction. You have to be straightened or maybe straight from both sides. So as the friend works on the other end, enemy is working on the other end, you remain at the central with your mind open and active ready to work. So relationship is how you relate with your friends and enemies. That's what I mean by that.
It's not that intimacy kind of relationship. That
in fact, this now where I've talked about love girls, love boys, love women, love no, nothing like that.
And the moment you have mentioned the other titles of books you have written,
yes.
I've seen an aspect that they are related to this, your first book.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, your first book is empowering you to produce more books.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some truth in that fact?
Yes, it's some truth, and I'm very sure that one you have seen from the subtitle, they're living with the opportunities.
Yeah.
If you look at my books, it's like a journey. That's why I call this one Volume 1. They're like the albums, the songs. Huh?
Yeah.
So, Volume 1, that is Power Dream, talking of Power Dream, living with opportunities. Then, Volume 2 or Book 2, that is a healing relationship, talks about seeing the living opportunities. Meaning that the first one tells us that opportunities are there. The second book tells us how we should open our eyes and see. Then the third one tells us how we should now go and pick opportunity. Then the fourth one now, how to maximize what you have picked. So it's like a series.
It's like a series, of events you are coming up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that is disconnected now a bit is about the teenagers, but still it's under the same opportunities. As a parent, you have the opportunity God have given you to lead the children.
Yeah. So, at the maximum point of writing the books, what is your core need to write these books? What is that aspect that you need the reader to get exactly after reading these books?
What I want the reader to get is the power of even me, in quotes, even me I can. Even me I can. Why? It doesn't count whether you are from a rich family or not. It doesn't count whether you went to school by bus or on foot. It doesn't count like that. So my core point of reading is that I want to put it in. It's just like I cannot get that person to talk to face. But now I thought if I put this one in a book, somebody will read something and also get the life transformed. So in short, I need that platform whereby I can transform somebody. After this book is read, I want to see the action being taken. I want to enlighten. It's like bringing hope against hope. You hoped that you cannot do this, but I'm bringing that hope again in you that it is possible. So my aspect is to entice or to tell somebody that everybody is capable of doing anything that he or she is thinking of.
Mark, in your life, according to what you have told me, I've seen that there is a point where you can tell if a dream exists in somebody or in a kid, and there is a way that dream can be nurtured. There are viewers out there who like their parents, who have kids, who have children, and they would like their children to nurture their dreams. But the point is, they don't know how to identify this child is capable of doing such like a thing. You get at a point, some parents are imposing children to do such like courses, but their children are out to do others. You get at the end of the game, their children are doing a job that they don't want to do. They are not happy doing what they do. You get that fact?
I get it.
So, what kind of advice can you give to those parents out there, to those kids out there that are watching us?
Thank you so much. I like that question because that's my area of passion of talking to parents. But I do a lot of talkings in school, in colleges, and even some organizations about the parents. No wonder I've written that book entitled the Teens, or Parenting the Teens. Most of the things that parents fail to understand is that everybody is unique and precious before the eye of God. If you are a father and you are a doctor, that is your own problem. That is you. If you are a mother, you are an engineer, that is you and your brain. But for the kid, even the when you talk about the DNAs and all those gene transfer, it's not a must that your gene must be transferred 100%. There must be some portion. So everybody with the talent and all that. Then parents have to identify or separate the thing of thinking and feeling. We have a parents what they do, they think for the child, which is not right. Instead, they should be feeling. You know, when you feel, it's like you do something from your heart. But if you think, you just do something because somebody else is doing that. So parents, they compare outside when they come, they want to apply it in the house. Somebody told them, if you become a doctor, salary is huge. Now, they are working because of salary. They are not working because of the feelings or passions. When that one comes now, that's when they start hitting the kids, do this, don't do homework. And homework sahiyo, imepeana like dunia mzima. Some teachers also, they fail some areas. Wanapeana homework unadhani dunia inaisha. That one does not help. So, as a parent, let your child be free. I normally say that teenagers are always right. And in fact, when they do things, funny things, that is when they are growing. If your teenagers just quiet, they are not doing anything, that's a problem somewhere. That's a problem, abnormality somewhere. Now, as a parent or a guardian, you can identify the potential of this kid by consistently trying to follow up what this kid keeps on doing all the time. Anything that when he comes back home, you can just imagine maybe get this kid doing. Even if you caution, tomorrow still the same thing, tomorrow still the same thing. Example like drawing. There are some children that they keep on drawing, whether what. That one should be driving something in your mind. This one is a kind of engineer, this is a kind of architecture, artist or something like that, movie, film, something like that. That one is connected to that. But don't impose. Don't impose. Just like learning. How come some kids in class, they don't really work with the books, reading and all that, but they take number one with very good points and marks. But some that are tightened back at home, they don't even have a time to have a glass of water. They keep on failing. Why? Because they're not doing them from heart, they keep on now doing them for the parents. Now, as a parent or a guardian, identify a potential or something that a kid keeps on doing. Please allow him doing that. And now as a parent, come in and support. If a small kid 1 year, 2 years, anapenda kuchora, keep on buying now those colors, buy those manila papers, draw them. As a parent, have your special house, later hizo newspapers with pictures, uziweke hapo. You will identify the power of this kid and they will just come out naturally. I tell kids that there is a difference between a talent and a gift. When we talk about a gift, this is something natural, this is something that you cannot avoid. Just like me, for example, I like teaching so much, but I've never done something to do with education. But for me, I cannot stay without a day without talking to somebody. I like that platform. In fact, even my job, I pray so that I'm given a field whereby I'll be full of training and talking to people. That's what I like. So that's a gift. But a talent, you know, this exercise, you have to do it. If you fail to do it, one day you will fail. So please, parents or guardians or any other person, that thing you keep on doing without being reminded, without being forced, without seeing like you're wasting time, without feeling that you are tired. There's something you can do the whole day but you don't feel anything. That one is a gift. And whether you like it or not, that is your area. And follow it, please.
And there is some truth in it that each and every person out there has got a gift.
Very well.
Different gifts from God. The only issue is identifying the gift, then trying to work on it.
Good. Identifying the gift.
So there is this challenge with the youths out there. The youths have great minds.
Yes.
But trying to implement that mind to bring them into a picture of practical and at least earn something for them, they keep on copying. They don't depend on what they are able to do, but they are afraid to do them. What can they do to kill all that being afraid thing and start following up their dreams?
I don't know where to start with because you have reminded me something that I never said. When I was telling you that I took my manuscript to my lecturers and then they stopped me and denied me and even talk wrongly. I remember there's another, I don't want to go tribe-wise, but that one made me hate a given tribe in Kenya, though God tells us to be right. Okay, I felt bad.
I don't think you still hate.
No. In fact, I went back and now we are friends because after some recognition now. That lecturer talked to me wrongly. So some of the youths, they are being discouraged by the guardians, the pastors, the lecturers, the teachers and all that. You get a teacher abusing child. Kwenda huko ni mjinga kama mama yako. No wonder baba yako alikufa. You know, those words you tell a kid, oh, baba yangu alikufa now, I cannot make this. It's very important words. Bible tells us that tongue is the smallest organ in the body, but can cause fires through the words we speak. What I want to tell you is that, please, Whether you have, if you have your passion, you have your dream, don't think what somebody's saying. In fact, what we have, we don't have critics. Maybe what I've been looking at, we have people who are called the cynic. Cynic people is like a conductor or maybe a passenger after some kind of problems, mechanical problem or maybe jam. Passengers keep on shouting driver, na wewe mbona ulifuata hii njia wewe, hata wewe hapa ilikuwa na jam, na by then hakukwambia hata initially, and this passenger give him a steering to lead the vehicle. He cannot even know, even he doesn't know where the stop gear is, the whatever gear is, the brake gear is. He doesn't know anything, but can tell you all kind of negative word. He knows everything but can achieve nothing.
So you're implying that you are your own driver of your own
driver.
Yeah.
Mr. Henry, as I talk to you like this, when these books I presented them gaily, very funny because the discouragement were many. I remember writing a letter to my vice chancellor, Miss Professor Olive Mugenda, Kenyatta University. I was demoralized even by the secretary. They told me, what do you want to see Mugenda for? You are a student, first year. When did you start visiting vice chancellors? I went there first day, they encouraged me. After 3 days again, I went back and I became a bother to them. Then after that, they told me, okay, what do you want now? Tell us, we will tell. Then I said, okay, I wanted to present a book. I remember giving only one book, The Power Dream. I just wanted to give her this gift. I have this for that. Then inside the book, they never knew, I wrote, cannot. Please just receive this gift. I'm a student in KU and all this. I'm telling you, after receiving that thing, I kumaliza 1 week, then I got a call around 2. I was in class form 4, and then I remember. Then I told my student, I've just got a call from a strange woman. I don't know happy, but they want me to see them emergency. But they're telling me I should create time, not for them. Now it's like I'm the one to tell them when I'm free. Yeah. Then it was on a Friday. I told them I will be there on Monday. They welcomed me. Believe it or not, when I went there, I got bored. The board of whatever, I don't know, but they were in the boardroom. The faces I saw there for the first time asking me, how did you make it? Is it possible? First was the 2 lecturers who denied my work and all that. But to make the story short, as per now, as we speak,
watakusalimia kwa heshima, sivyo?
They are using the books and the books are in the library. All university campuses here, Kenyatta University, the books were taken, and I thank God for that. So that is the far God can take you if you believe. So another thing about the youths again, I am a youth, yes, I know the challenges. My friend, I have been in the university for the past 4 years, and believe it or not, there is no single day I slept or wasted time, even 1 minute. Because I told you primary where I was teaching. When I started college, the director just opened for me a way whereby I could balance my timetable. When I'm there, maybe from 7 up to 9, I don't have class at the side. Then I run from 9:30, I have a class until 1. Then I went back to KU. I was running like a mad person along the way with suiting, narcotics, sweating all that time. All that time, even right now as we speak to you. From this studio, I have some other things to do until almost midnight. So, problem with the youth is time wasting. And we are fond of thinking of my uncle is somewhere, my dad is somewhere, the Godfather.
I always believe they can lean somewhere I don't
believe those things exist, especially with family members. Forget about that. Your uncle will be a CEO somewhere, will be James Mwangi somewhere, will be President Uhuru somewhere. But my friend, when they give you those things to handle, it will only last 1 month because it's not original. So don't believe in gods, the Godfathers. No. Whatever you do with your hand, no wonder God tells us that He will bless the work of our hands, not our hands. Our hands are already blessed.
Yeah, they are already blessed. You have just to put the blessings into practice. And basically, as an author, as your dream goes through, your passion as writing, as an author, what's your relationship with God?
God, I don't know, because if I tell you what God has done in my life, we will start crying here, because seriously, I'm not telling you about my background, seriously, but God, I love God so much. And still back to my mom, I remember every Sunday it was like a torture. If you don't go to church, no lunch that day. So since then, I've been in a very good relationship with God. God is my personal savior. I'm born again. Right now, as we speak, I work, I fellowship the Delivering Church Kasarani. I'm also one of the youth leaders there, and I thank God for that. So I'm born again, and I love God too much. I don't speak more about, I give out my testimony, then you know what kind of God I'm serving. If you believe, well and good. If you don't have a God, please serve my God.
So meaning God is all the pavement for your success.
Just as simple as that. God tells me that request and you will get. I requested everything. Some opportunities come that even I don't know where they come from, but I believe through that word that God tells us that I have good plans for you. So I don't mind the kind of plan God is having for me. What I know is that they are good plans.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mark. And our viewers out there, you have just heard it from Mr. Mark that you can have a dream, but all you got to do is realize what you can do, then start doing it. And everything related with God, go close to God, and everything will be successful. And thank you for watching our show, our Power Dream Show. Till next time, when we meet at the same place, same time. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arne.
Yeah.